Glory be to God. It's November 15th, 2023. I wanted to put this video out before you continue to watch the video that you're watching right now. The videos that you're about to witness is past videos that I'm just now releasing to everyone. This was part of my purpose, part of God's will, to expose the enemy, because that's what the Bible tells us to do, to expose the enemy. This is a learning video. The videos that I put out is not to disrespect my wife. It's not to embarrass her, because I love my wife. I'm in love with my wife. I've been through this journey of spiritual warfare for a reason. And I hope everybody looks at these videos with a spiritual eye and a spiritual mind. And if you don't know the Word of God, get into it, read it, have a better understanding, and then come back and look at these videos. My videos, they all will have dates on the videos, so you can watch them in order. It's a reason why you have to watch them in order. You're going to see me grow in these videos. You're going to see how God maneuvered and changed things in my life in these videos. These videos is for everybody out there that may be going through the same thing I'm going through, but don't have no answers. Well, in these videos, I'm going to show you what spiritual warfare looks like. I'm going to show you how to fight and know that the strategies of the enemy, like the Bible tells us, why they do what they do. Trust me, I searched all over YouTube for the last 8 years, and I haven't came across nobody that's really had video evidence of demonic demons controlling people that they love, or somebody explaining through their experience on live of what just took place and why it's happening. I need y'all to go back and watch my testimony series so you can have a better understanding of who I am, and watch these videos in order. I will put the dates on them, and my thumbnails will be color coordinated for the years from the time I started until today, and what changed and how did it change, because it's different type of demons that control, and they all do something different, and I'm gonna break every single one of them down on how they do and what you have to do to fight it based off God's word. I thank y'all. I love y'all. And just know I did this for y'all. I did this for y'all. I love y'all. I don't even know y'all, but I love y'all. I love it. I love each and every one of y'all, because this was bigger than me. It was bigger than me. It was bigger than my wife. It was for y'all. This is what God wanted me to do. Enjoy the video. Glory be to God. It is January 30th, 2025. So I had a small spiritual attack, or I don't know if to call it an attack, or I don't know if this was God testing me. See, for God to move on my situation, I had to come to the conclusion that I cannot have contact with my wife. Period. Nothing. Because everything she says is either going to be negative and or stuff that she, like, there's no need to repeat. Like, she'll tell me that I need to pay my child support or pay the car note, right? Every month. And it's like, why are you continuously telling me that I need to pay the child support when I done made every payment of child support since we went to court? You don't have to wait. The same day I get paid, the same day you receive your money. But for some reason, the enemy feels the need to remind me every time. Now, this last time, she didn't text me. But she did text me with the, you're a 48-hour dad, you need to be paying more child support. Even though we went to court in December, sat down with a mediator, the judge even asked her about the child support. Is this enough? Are you being forced? And her answer was no and no. So this was a mutual agreement on how much I'm supposed to pay her and the days that I'm supposed to pay during the month, or, the amount that I'm supposed to pay off every month. Also, the pickups and drop-offs. We had these discussions with the mediator, face to face. We agreed on it. We signed off on it. So with that said, it's like the enemy is just trying to get under my skin and keep bringing up stuff that it's already been discussed and talked about. I told y'all in my past with my wife, we will argue over stuff that was already discussed, that we already put a period at the end. Everything was discussed, but for some reason it'll get brought right back up. And it's always complaining with no solution. So, this past weekend, because today is Thursday, I had my daughters, picked them up, went to the house, didn't get out my car. I'm not getting out my car no more. I'm not getting out my car. I don't have nothing to say to my wife. I just look straight ahead in the seat, and that's it. And I did the same thing dropping them off. I got out the car to give my kids a kiss and a hug, and that was it before their mom came to the car. But I don't have nothing to say to my child's mom, because this whole time, this whole situation, I haven't been disrespectful. I haven't been mean. I haven't been, like, all I do is try to be nice to her and do what she wanted me to do. But now I had to set some boundaries. Now with the daycare, now my youngest daughter, she's autistic. She goes to daycare. Now, we just put her in a school for her needs as being autistic. She ain't seriously autistic, but she just has a problem communicating, right? But we just enrolled her into a school which she's at for about 3 hours, which they're gonna help her with her speech and communication skills. Now, she's been with our child's daycare for almost 2 years, right? And she allows the enemy to use her, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it's been numerous different times where she snapped off at me and I haven't done nothing to her. You know, when it came to my situation with my wife. But I said, you know what? You don't have to worry about me bringing up my wife to you. You know, because at one point she was giving me advice and telling me, you know, one minute she's want to be involved, next minute she don't want to be involved. One minute she wants to be involved, next thing. So I just got to the point where I was like, she's a monitoring spirit. I don't need to be telling her anything no more. But, you know, just 2 weeks ago, I stopped at the house and dropped off I bought some jackets from Sam's Club and dropped them off at the daycare. No problem. It was no problem. But the last week, that week, she had now, the reason why I bring up my daughter going to this daycare, they provide busing, right? But her daycare is out of the perimeter for the busing. But the other daycare that my children go to, when she can't go to this daycare, is within the parameters for busing. My wife didn't want to do that. Why? Because that's her help. You see what I'm saying? For anything that she wants to do when she wants to go out, she'll arrange it to the woman will still get paid like it's a regular day, but she won't get the kids until that night. You see what I'm saying? So it was convenient for my wife, but at this point, I'm like, we got to do what's best for our daughter. Now, I told my wife, look, I don't mind taking my daughters to the school only if it's in the morning. In the afternoon, it's kind of difficult because of my schedule and what I need to do. So my wife didn't want to send them to the other daycare. So I'm talking, so the day that I went over to my wife's house to see if she was okay, the day that I had to tell myself stop talking to her. And I wanted to know if my kids was okay. I called the babysitter and she told me that she had the kids. So I'm telling her what happened, you know, and she's telling me that when she went to the house to drop off the kids, it was police there because my wife said she was going to call the police. There was no reason for her to call the police. All that could have been avoided if her 15-year-old son would have came to the door and told me that the kids is at the babysitter's house and my mom is not here. That's all that needed to happen. But, you know, that's a whole story for another day. So during this time talking to the babysitter, she wants to bring up my schedule, which she's out of bounds, talking about what she believes is best for my child. And to see, the thing is, she don't want to lose that check. So it's money. That's money. So, but she's out of bounds to try to tell me that I'm wrong for wanting to take her out of her daycare. And I'm like, this don't got nothing to do with you. And I told her this. And then she continued to talk. And I said, I don't need to discuss my personal decisions with you. You're just the daycare provider. And she continued to talk. And I said, I'm going to get off this phone. And she continued to talk, being disrespectful, telling me what I should and what I should not be doing. And I hung up on her. I didn't call her back. She left me a text message saying something like I was very rude and I was disrespectful, that I hung up on her, even though I gave her warning that I was going to hang up. And I told her, this don't got nothing to do with you. You're just the daycare provider. But so she was on this, well, I don't want you coming over to the house no more. And I'm like, I just brushed it off. Like, you can't stop me from coming over to your house when my daughter is under your care and there's nothing legally stating that I can't come over to the daycare to pick up my daughter or to see my daughter. There's nothing legally, there's nothing. I have never been over to her house and caused confusion and drama, never yelled at her, never screamed at her, never did anything that she could feel like I'm a threat. She got a door camera. She could pull up the footage on the door camera. Never once have I been a threat. And it wasn't a problem, you know, that weekend before when I came and dropped off some jackets at her house. So I bring this up because when I had my daughters, my daughter's charging block to her Nintendo Switch she left it at the house. But I'm telling myself, okay, either I give it to the mom and she waits and to get the block on my next visit, but then I'm like, that's not fair for my daughter to not be able to, you know, access her Nintendo Switch. So I said, okay, I'll go ahead and just drop it off at the daycare and keep it pushing on my way to work. So that's what I attempted to do today. I went to the daycare, I rang the doorbell, she had the music playing loud. I waited for about 3 minutes, and then I had to remind myself that we was told, you know, we could come to the backyard. So I go into the backyard, knock on her back door. She comes, I tell her I'm just dropping off this brick. I give my daughter a kiss and I leave. 15, 20 minutes later, I get a text message stating that I don't know if I was clear, but you can't come over here without my consent. And next time you do, I'm going to call the police. And I'm like, you don't have no authority to call the police on me if I haven't brought no type of drama, no type of threats towards you. My daughter is under your care and you're upset because what? You can't stop me. It ain't like my wife has full control of the kids. No, the kids just live with her, but we make decisions on their schooling, their medical, and their daycare. Unless I done had history with the daycare provider and, you know, there's a police report or, you know, it's a restraining order from me having with my wife that I can't come over there with the kids, there's nothing she can do. So, you know, I kind of responded like I know my rights. I didn't do anything wrong. I just, you know, I told her straight up, I said, you're just upset because I wanted my kids to go to a different daycare that was going to benefit my daughter at the end of the day. It wasn't personal, it's business. And it's my personal, what I feel what was better for my daughter. But she continued to go to this daycare, it's whatever. If y'all arrange pickups and drop-offs, going back and forth to the daycare, then that's fine. But, you know, she, for her to try to threaten me, I was like, okay, so this is the game we gonna play. I'm not gonna respond back, but I do know my rights, and she can't stop me from coming over to the house to see my daughter or to pick up my daughter. There's nothing legally binding me from doing that. And if I don't have a history of doing anything with her or, you know, disturbing her, then it's nothing for her to even worry about or feel like I'm some type of threat. Now, when you're dealing with the enemy, they like to lie. They'll lie and lie. So, you know, I won't be surprised if she lied and said that I was confrontational with her coming into the backyard, even though we done got directions to go into the backyard, you know. But like I said, I didn't say nothing to this woman. I told her, I'm just here to drop off this brick. And I gave my daughter a kiss and I walked off. So I'll see what happens. I'll keep y'all informed. But it's just almost to the point that I might have to report her to the child care services or whatever, and let them see these text messages of her threatening me that I cannot come over to the house when there's no history of me doing anything to her. And my daughter pretty much goes to that daycare. And the only time I done came over to her house is when my daughter is at the daycare, not on her personal off days or anything else. But I just wanted to leave this video. I think I was going through a test. I think it was a test. I don't know if I passed or failed because I responded. I know with my wife, I ain't supposed to respond, and I'm not supposed to be checking her social media at all. I'm just supposed to let God have his will, do his will on her. But with the babysitter, when I did respond, I think I responded professionally, and I left it short and sweet and left it alone. But maybe I wasn't supposed to respond. I don't know. I'm not sure. I done prayed about it and prayed on it. But that's it. I love y'all. I'm out.